Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, to the second part of my new diet experience. If you have not watched the previous video, it is recommended to watch it first because there are some details and information about habits that might be relevant to weight loss as well. As I said previously, in my 10 years of vegetarianism, I gained weight gradually even though I've never stopped doing sport. So this video might be beneficial to those who do work out but don't get the outcome that they desire. If someone is too lazy to work out at least 3 times a week, this video might be a little bit irrelevant or might not be so helpful. It's more relevant and helpful to those who do exercise but can't lose weight. Anyway, I kept gaining weight, but the moment I couldn't wear my largest trousers anymore, I knew that I couldn't allow myself to keep going like this. My trousers were already 2 sizes larger than what I had before. This was also a reason where I realized that I needed to reduce carbs and integrate meat in order to have more efficient diet and to make a drastic change. I have known this method since I was in my 20s because as an actor, when production companies hired personal trainers that could help me get quick results gaining weight or losing weight in a couple of weeks. So I know this method from the past, but it contained meat and fish. So now I could apply it again. Of course, I'm not in my 20s anymore, so I needed more time than 2 weeks, but still, it got the job done. Now, first here is important to disclaim that I'm not a doctor and that I'm only sharing my experience. So some people should not follow my diet because it might not be safe for them to cut off their carbs or sugar drastically. Perhaps some people have some insulin habits or something else that might put them in danger if they imitate exactly what I did in my diet. So such folks might need to change their habits for some months or perhaps years and reduce their sugar consumption gradually to a safe level before being ready to go on. Otherwise, they might experience dangerous side effects. Anyway, though I did consume carbs, but fast sugar consumption was not part of my habits. I did eat fruit, but with small quantities, and not in a habitual pattern. So I could cut off my carbs consumption and sugar consumption drastically with no danger. And in a couple of months, I was so happy to go back to my original size where I was in my 20s. So many trousers that have been in my closet for almost 6 years without me being able to wear them. Now they are back and I don't need to buy new ones. But of course, in order to make this happen, I had to take drastic measures. Now here's the secret. Since my vegetarian diet was based mainly on carbs, my body did recycle its own protein, but as I said, after 10 years, it was a bit too much. And basing the meal mainly on carbs for such a long period of time, that has destroyed my metabolism that way that the body learned that the easiest source of energy is carbs. And therefore it refused to acknowledge fats as a source of energy and it rejected it, or did not burn it efficiently. So it didn't make a difference how much I worked out. The body would burn mainly carbs and would not burn fats. And when I went back to eating meat, I changed that. And after 2 months, I excluded carbs totally from my diet. No bread, no rice, no pasta, and even no fruit in the first couple of weeks. And this month was the detoxification of all the carbs and sugar in my blood. I know now that the word fruit sounds controversial, but I'm sharing only my experience. Everyone is free to choose whatever they want and to do whatever they want. And everyone is responsible for their own choices. I'm only sharing my experience here. That's been said, I need also to say that the first days of the new diet were very hard, especially the 4th and the 5th day. But after crossing the threshold, things changed. I have lost the sense of hunger. I've kept working out even without carbs, and it was awesome. It is important to notice that there are so many cliches about carbs, like we need them in order to build muscle mass, etc. One can let go of such cliches and just enjoy living with no sense of hunger that is triggered by appetite more than a need. I did eat, but less than 30% of the quantity. With all my size and muscle mass, I could eat 1 meal a day with no carbs and I didn't feel hunger. That was for about a month. I'm talking about appetite hunger. After a month, I started integrating fruits again. This new diet has made my mind sharper. I'm more focused, not thinking about what I'm going to eat. I have so much time and mental capacity for other activities without being interrupted all the time by thoughts about food. I sleep 6 to 7 hours and it feels more than enough. I feel light and focused all the time. I must say that Sometimes in the beginning I felt a bit cold, perhaps because the body was used to burning carbs in order to regulate the temperature. So I needed to dress a little bit warmer that time in order to avoid catching a cold. Anyway, after about a month of carbs detox, I went back to eating fruit. It did give me energy when it was in low quantities, but when I had a little bit too much, I went back to that sense of fatigue for a while until burning all of that sugar. What I could realize here is that 1, carbs are not what we think it is, and 2, we need much less than what we think. The illusion of hunger is being triggered by appetite, by desire for certain substances in bread and pasta and rice, etc., or like carbs substances. This appetite keeps us hungry and addicted to food. After a while of not eating carbs, my body has learned to accept fats as a source of energy, and not only that it started burning things very quickly, but also had a sense of abundance, like someone has discovered a new treasure and felt extremely stale and unworried. It became very generous with me to channel more energy to my senses and focus and mental abilities. Now, after reflecting on all of that, I can say that I learned that perhaps we are not told the whole truth about the food we consume. I hope I could add another piece to the puzzle, and if you have something else to add, please let me know. You can write it in the comments. If you have more questions about my experience, let me know. Thank you for being here with me. I'm Shredy Jabarin. Ciao.